what's going on, fam? It's your man VACAY-J, and yes, I'm back. We are back. We are back with another live stream. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. It's your man VACAY-J. Thank you for joining me today. We are live talking about P-Valley Season 2 season finale. Definitely wanted to come live to you early because we have a lot of other shows to get to, so I wanted to get to this really quick, break it down with you guys, talk about it with you guys. So welcome all of you to the show. What's going on, fam? I see you. Hey, Daria, how you doing? How you doing? Thanks for coming on through. Definitely, let's make sure we hit that like button. Definitely hit that share button. We're going to talk about it today, and we might, Amy may show up. She's still in Hawaii. She's still, at a different location. So we're going to see what happens. But you guys, I already know. You ride with me, you're my loyal fam. So when it comes to VACAY-J and friends, you're definitely my friends, and I appreciate you all for jumping on. So we're gonna talk about it, family. You already know how we do. We're gonna rate this show. I mean, this season overall to me was definitely a great season. Not gonna say that it was better than the first season, right? I think they just elevated to another level from season 1 to season 2, right? I think that Katori Hall, the executives, all the writers, all the actors, I think they really took it to another level and really got deep and deeper with us, right? I think they really went in deep with this season. And as far as this last episode, we're definitely gonna rate it. So you already know how we do, fam. So again, if you're new to the channel, whether you're watching it live or watching the replay, definitely do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Absolutely do me a favor, hit that like button as we get into P-Valley Season 2, the season finale, family. It's the season finale. And to me, it went pretty quick, right? It went really quick. To me, it just went really quick. I swear we just started P-Valley not too long ago, but it went just like that, right? So we're gonna break down the season finale. I appreciate you all for watching. If you're watching live, definitely chime in. Let me know you're here. You're gonna get a shout out. And absolutely, if you're watching a replay, definitely appreciate you, all right? So let's get into it, fam. We're gonna break this down from the top to the bottom. And first thing we do on the VACAY-J show is we are going to rate the show. Now, like I said, my partner in crime, she's out in Hawaii. She may show up. If she does, we're just gonna bring her on to the show and we're gonna continue on, all right? So the first thing I want to do is I want to rate this season finale for P-Valley. So go ahead, you as well, if you're watching live or the replay, go ahead and rate this show. Rate this episode. Episode 10, the season finale. What do you rate it? I personally rated I'm gonna say a good 8.5. It was a good 8.5. Usually I'm like 9, around 8.5, right? The previous episode, it was 9.5 because they really turned up. But this episode, I think they did a lot of different things, right? They did a lot of different things, right? They did a lot of different things where they absolutely exposed a lot of things that I personally wanted, as far as Mercedes, as far as not Keyshawn, right? Keyshawn, that's another story. We're going to talk about that. But as far as Mercedes, to me, I think it was the greatest episode for Mercedes because Mercedes has been struggling for such a long time, and I've been rooting for Mercedes. I've been rooting for her just trying to be a better mother, her just trying to find her way, right? Last episode, Uncle Clifford told her to dream some new dreams, and I think this episode definitely came through for her, and I'm really, really excited for her. Off the top, I'm gonna let you guys know, 8.5, that's my rating. Drop your comments below. I'm looking for your comments as well. I'll drop your comments below. But off the top, let's talk about from the top to the bottom. Again, I'm gonna do this like you already saw the show, right? So if you haven't seen the show, definitely go to Stars, check it out, come back here as we discuss it as well. But I'm gonna be talking about everything in the show, so this is your warning. We're just letting you know. I'm letting you know. I'm gonna be talking about everything in the show. So off the top, we're talking about Haley, Dre, and Brittany, which is Dre's wife, right? So last episode, we saw that, Haley and Dre, they were going into Dre's house and they were kissing and smooching and doing all this and that. Meanwhile, we got Dre's wife, Brittany, just sitting there in the dark. I don't know why is she sitting in the dark. Help me out with that. She's sitting in the dark. She turns on the light, and she's like, "Oh, this is your campaign manager." So as we start this episode, this final episode, now they're arguing, right? And your girl Haley's sitting in the middle, like, what's going on? I mean, she looked a little demonic, like evil to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, this was supposed to happen. They arguing back and forth, and this thing cursing each other out. They doing all types of stuff, and it's really a lot of drama. And I think, me personally, I'm seeing like Haley kind of likes the drama. She kind of likes what's going on, being in the middle of things, and being fought over or whatever the case is. But she kind of smiling through it all. And of course, Bria's like, you now you with this light bright girl, and she's like, watch your mouth and everything. And it was just very chaotic to me. You know what I'm saying? It was eventually going to happen. Didn't expect for Brittany to show up at all. I didn't expect that at all. But of course, with Dre running for mayor, her still being married to Dre, she gonna be nosy. Even though she messing with Dante, her ex-boyfriend, she messing with Dante. And Dre's like, yo, forget you. I'm going to Chucalissa. I'm running for mayor. This, that, and third. So now that he's getting some attention, he's up in the polls. Now she wants to come through. What do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about that? So honestly, like, I think that Dre making a move where he's gonna be married to his wife, because that's what happened, right? I guess they talked, and she was like, why did you hide the fact that your father was a murderer, that he's in a correctional facility? And he made a good point. He said, if I would have told you that, would you have married me? Right? And the answer would have been no, because she's a doctor, right? Her parents didn't want her to marry Dre in the first place. They felt like he was a piece of whatever, and they didn't want her to marry him. Bottom line. So he made up this whole fantasy. He became Mr. Denzel Washington or Idris Elba or whoever's the latest guy for you, right? As far as an actor. And he played the role like he was this really good guy. I mean, he is a lawyer, so that's a good thing, right? He became a lawyer instead of becoming like the president like he wanted to be when he was a child and told his godfather and his father he wanted to be president, but he became a lawyer. So that's pretty prestigious, right, in the eyes of the ritzy. So I guess that's a good thing, and that's why Brittany married him and they allowed it to happen. But the truth is that yes, he is a lawyer, but his father is a murderer, and he hid that, right? So he's like, listen, I'm in love with another woman, and it's like, yo, why do you still want me when I'm in love with another woman? I'm in love with Haley. And she's like, well, I'm in love with another man. That man is you. And he's like, you in love with the idea of me. That happens a lot of relationships, right? People get, and they fall in love with the idea of the person or the image that they have projected to the person, but it's not the real person. So when the real person comes out, it's like, who is this? Who did I marry? Who did I fall in love with, right? So, Dre is now still married. The results were coming in. He was up in the polls, and then here comes Corbin. He's like, hey, Obama and Michelle, and Haley already left. And Corbin is a little bit too excited, right? Yeah, he invested in Dre, but we find out that Corbin has his own plan up his sleeve. Like, we're gonna talk about it, right? But yeah, so he goes out there. Dre goes out there. He's thinking that he won, right? He's thinking that he won the presidency, won being mayor, right? He thought that, hey, I'm up in the polls, so I must have won, right? So he goes out there, and he's standing there smiling. And I love how they put this together. I love how they put it together as far as him getting a phone call. He's thinking maybe he doesn't know who it is, and we see Wayne Kyle making a phone call too. We also see, before that phone call, we see that they putting hands on Woodbine, right? Praying on her, praying that she wins or whatever the case is. So he gets the phone call, and we're thinking that it's Wayne Kyle talking to Dre, but it's not Wayne Kyle talking to Dre. Wayne Kyle is talking to Woodbine, Patrice Woodbine. What's going on, Creative Sis? How we doing? Happy Sunday. Good to see you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for coming through. So Wayne Kyle is talking to Woodbine, talking about, yeah, you know, congratulations, mayor-elect. And she's like, man, stop effing with me. You serious? Are you serious? Yeah. Pastor Woodbine won. And Dre, when he picked up the phone, it was Haley talking about, keep your head up, King. Like, you ain't win, son. You know what I'm saying? You wasn't going to win. And I had a feeling he wasn't going to win. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even though he has some pretty great commercials, you know, with the strippers from the Pank, right? I think he had some, you know, creative says, nah, you gotta watch it once again, you gotta watch it again. We thought, exactly, when you watch it, it's like, you know, you got the cameras outside, he's outside his house, and yeah, your boy Dre did not win. Nah, he did not win. Pastor Woodbine won. And she probably won because, you know, last episode, you remember last episode, she had the truck, she had the pole in the middle of the truck, she had some music playing, she ain't had like a stripper outfit on, but she had like tights on, and then she made it rain with those guns. Like, she had that money from Corbin, I don't know, maybe that was $10,000, and she was spraying the money into the audience. Like, come on, she basically paid for her votes, right? She paid for her votes, and yeah, people came out and they voted her over Wayne Kyle and over Dre. So now we got the new Mayor Bishop, okay? And I honestly, it was either gonna be her or Wayne Kyle, because I didn't think, honestly, like I said, I didn't think Dre was gonna win. He had a good chance. He was up in the polls, but that doesn't mean that he won, right? Or it could have been fixed. Or, you know, the powers that be could have kind of messed around with things because they need somebody else in office so they can take care of some other things, right? So she won, and couldn't find out that the referendum for the casino actually went through, right? So the people voted in order to allow the casino to come to Chucalissa, right? I mean, this is good. This is good stuff. This is good stuff. Okay, so let's get into it real quick. I want to talk about some bullet points. I got a couple bullet points, all right? So we talked about the Woodbine. We talked about Dre, Haley, Brittany, that battle. We talked about Woodbine winning. This is what I want to talk about right here, okay? Why hasn't Keyshawn Harris, why hasn't she left yet? She's still here, okay? What is going on? Why haven't you left yet? You already got the money, and now it's the morning time, right? So we in the morning. She got a car, there's money in the car, Haley set it all up, right? Now she's supposed to leave. So she took the kids to stay with her sister, right? That's what she did. She set it up where she took the kids, stay with her sister. So when she gets the money from the bank, she gets the car, there's all money in the back trunk and everything, and she's like, listen, Haley's telling her, wrote her a letter, let her know, like, listen, it's all about cash right now. You're not gonna have any trace, anything to track you down. You're just using cash. We're gonna change your name. You're gonna have a new passport. You're gonna have this, that. Take the kids and just get away, start a whole new life, right? So she dropped the kids off at her sister's, thinking that, okay, next morning, I'm gonna pick them up. Man. So I'm like upset at the same time. I'm like shocked, like, really? So she drops them off at her sister's house. She goes to her sister's house to pick up the kids and get out of town, right? She ready to go. She got the money, she got the cash, she got bundles of money. She's ready. It's time to go, right? It's time to go. And turn around. Yeah, I know, creator says. Turn around. We see the evil, wicked witch of the South, right? We see her stepmom at her sister's house. And she's like, what are you doing here? Oh, I just came here, da-da-da-da. I heard the kids were over, so I came over. It's like, ah, man, here comes trouble. The sister comes downstairs. She's on the steps like, dang, you know, like she knew the plan. Like, she must have told her sister the plan, because that's why she kept the kids. Because she knew that she was trying to get away, right? Man, so the stepmother, calls Derek. Why? Well, once I saw the kids and I saw, the old, they're gonna have good hair and all this and that, I wanted to call and just talk to Derek. Why do you call and talk to Derek? You don't call and talk to Derek any other time, right? Or do you? You know what I'm saying? Do evil people hang together? Does Derek and the wicked witch of of the South, you know, her stepmom, they hang together, right? You know what I'm saying? What made you call Derek? Yeah, nah, because she knew the plan. I think her sister kind of put her onto the plan. She's like, well, let me call Derek because this is not going to go down. I'm not going to allow this to happen. My grandkids be taken away. They're not even your grandkids, yo. You're not even related to Keyshawn. You know what I'm saying? Right? I'm telling you, like, I was so, like, I wanted to, like, of course, I don't beat women or nothing. I just wanted to do something to the stepmom. You know what I'm saying? I wanted somebody to do, I wanted Keyshawn to knock her out or something like that. I wanted something to happen. But anyway, so she called Derek, and yes, Keyshawn said that she's going to pick up the kids, take them to a doctor's appointment. She got errands to run. Derek didn't know she had errands to run from what her stepmom said. So now it's like, man, what is going on? So took the kids. Derek came and took the kids away from the sister's house. Messed up the getaway plan. Messed up the whole getaway plan. I'm like, dang. So, of course, she goes to the house, right? Let's talk about it. She goes to the house. She walks in the house. Derek's on the floor, you know, holding the baby and holding the kids. She's like, walking in there, Derek, I know how this looks, but it's not what it seems, right? And he's just sitting there like, what's going on, right? That's a good question. Creative Sis asked a question. I'll highlight this. What, right? That's a good question. That's a plot hole, right? What happened to the dad? Did he die? Did he leave? If you remember, let's talk about that briefly. If you remember when they talked about Keyshawn's story, remember they were going to the dance and everything else like that, and you know the older sister, the light-skinned sister, you know, she was kind of disgusted because the dad was kind of holding on too tight, gave her a kiss, you know what I'm saying? Maybe he tried something and he got caught, and that's why they moved out, right? That's why, you know, they all moved out. Like the sister moved out, got her own place, the mother's over there. I don't think, you know, I think something happened where they either broke up or Keyshawn's father passed away. One of the two. They don't tell us that, right? They leave that open. I guess we'll find out next season. But I want to know. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I want to know what happened, right? So going back to that, going back to Keyshawn going to get the kids, going back to the house, Derek sitting there on the floor holding the babies, looking kind of weird. And then all of a sudden, right, Child Protective Services is in there. You know what I'm saying? With the cops, going through the house. What you going through the house for, right? Why you in the house? And man, this was the worst thing that could ever happen. But that's towards the end. That's towards the end. Let's back it up. Let's back it up. I'm going all the way to the end, right? I'm talking about Keyshawn. Let's back it up a little bit. Let's back it up a little bit because I'm going all the way to the end with Keyshawn. We're going to come back to Keyshawn, what happens with that, because I'm like so upset about that. I'm so upset about that, okay? Let's talk about these two right here. Little Murder, Big Murder, and Clifford. And I feel like this episode was kind of like the conclusion of the back and forth that Little Murder and Clifford have been going through, because they've been going back and forth as far as their relationship, as far as exposing their relationship, as far as, you know, what type of life does Little Murder see with Clifford now that I think Little Murder has figured out exactly what he is and who he likes and what he likes and his lifestyle, right? I think everybody else figured it out, right? Even Maine knows that, you know, I think the whole hood knows what's going on with Little Murder, but I don't think Little Murder thinks that they do, right? So, you know, we see Uncle Clifford in the bed with Murder and, you know, just loving on him, whatever, but they have a conversation, and Clifford is like coming to the conclusion, like, listen, man, you're a big star now, you about to go on tour. You know, he was surprised that Murder was like, yeah, I'm going on tour tomorrow. You know, he's talking about, yeah, you know, I like the song, the 7 Pounds of Pressure. We're gonna talk about that in a minute. But really, he was like, yeah, I'm about to go on tour. I don't know when I'm coming back. So Uncle Clifford is on some like, well, you might as well go ahead and do that because I'm gonna be here. This is my life. This is what's going on. You ain't gonna take care of me and Grandma. You need to just go and fly. So Uncle Clifford, I can understand where Uncle Clifford is coming from. Like, yo, I don't want to hold you back from your dreams and your aspirations of you really getting out of there. You know what I'm saying? Right? No fairy tale. Right. So I can understand where Uncle Clifford was coming from on some like, yo, you know what, this it is what it is with us, and who knows how many relationships that Uncle Clifford had prior to this one that just didn't work out. And I think Uncle Clifford really was just on some like, well, here goes another one. Here goes another one that's just not gonna work out. It's just not gonna happen. Might as well go and fly. Just go with Tina Snow. Go on tour, and we're gonna let this go because it's just not gonna work out, right? But Big Murda, he got another idea. Like Big Murda loves Uncle Clifford and wants to stay, but he has to decide for himself what he's gonna do. And I think it was kind of foul how Uncle Clifford was just like, all right, man, just get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, just fly away. Just do your thing. Like, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to just do what I got to do. So they was going back and forth with that. And, we know what happened at the end. But I think it was very interesting. This episode was kind of like, okay, we're finally coming to a conclusion as to what is going to happen as far as their relationship. Right? All right. So let's keep moving. Now let's talk about Lil Murda and that Sadie's performance. Listen, let me tell y'all, man. Let me tell y'all something. I think that was one of the greatest performances in P Valley, right? And I believe it was a full circle performance, right, between Lil Murda and Keyshawn. I mean, and Sadie's, right? Because the name of the song was 7 Pounds of Pressure. So if you saw the last episode, episode before that, they were in the Paradise Room, and they both were like, "Yo, this is just kind of like a full circle. A lot has happened in this room." He played her his song, and I think Mercedes had something to do with that title of 7 Pounds of Pressure because she understood when she pulled that trigger and took out Montavious, and then your boy Diamond took out that 7 pounds of pressure from her shoulder. I think she had something to do with that title and that hook of 7 pounds of pressure. But really, when Little Murda came, yeah, it was crazy, right? Creator Sis, right? It was fire, right? Said, yeah, it was. I was like, wow. I was, like I said, love Keyshawn, love Mississippi and what they do in their performance. I was really a fan of the song. Champagne Campaign, but this one right here just has so much significance, so much like content and weight, and just a full circle of this whole season of everything that's been going on in season 2. So when she came out there and just started doing flips and acrobatics, like she was, Mercedes, to me, she redeemed herself completely, and this was her last dance. We'll get to that. But she killed it. Like, she was flipping all over the place. I mean, to me, the ending when he was bending down and she was on a pole and then she flipped over him and did a whole split. I was like, yo. But let's back it up a little bit. Let's go to the beginning of the performance when he saw Maine in the audience. Okay? And I don't know if y'all noticed, there was like some partitions. There was some like glass partitions on the stage now, which is going to prevent anybody from actually jumping up and going over now since that last performance, right? So he sees Maine in the audience, right? And he tells DJ, never scared to cut it. And now he's doing an acapella directly at Lil Maine, like, don't even think about coming up here, bro, because I got 7 pounds of pressure. It only takes a second to squeeze it and you'll be gone. So don't even, he's basically saying, none of y'all need to try me right now, because I got what I need in order to basically take your life. If you want to come test me. So it basically was like, don't come test me, son. Don't even come and do it, bruh, because I got 7 pounds of pressure for that, right? Now, the thing about it is, Mercedes, she's up there, they all into it, they both looking at each other, da-da-da-da. But Maine is looking at it from a different perspective, because he knows that Big Murda is directing it at him and his crew. Mercedes don't know. She ain't thinking about that. You know what I'm saying? Because she has no idea of what's really going on. She's just doing her last dance and focused on it. And she focused on the 7 pounds of pressure because she knows about it with her shoulder. And now she's much better. I think Mercedes' performance, and shout out to the stunt person of Mercedes, because I think that was one of the most incredible performances, right, ever. Especially the flip and the split, like it was crazy, right? So here we go. After the performance, they run backstage. She got all the money, big bags, they happy. See Uncle Clifford there. So let's talk about it, right? We see Uncle Clifford in the dressing room crying, right? And I'm thinking off the top, man, she crying, something happened to grandmother Ernestine, right? You know, something happened to her. What happened to grandmother Ernestine, right? What happened to her? Okay? Why is Uncle Clifford crying? Is she gone? Is she dead? I hope not, right? Because a lot of people predicted that grandmother Ernestine was going to be gone this season, right? But Uncle Clifford was crying because Uncle Clifford got the word that she didn't drink the water, and grandmother Ernestine is still here. Grandmother Ernestine is still here, and I said, you know what? I said, I don't think she's gonna go. Now, Amy, on the other hand, she thought that grandmother Ernestine gonna die, and then, you know, Haley's gonna feel bad, and then they're not gonna sell the clubs. She had this whole scenario. Yeah, Amy, nah, she ain't die. Like I said, grandmother Ernestine is strong as an ox. She's super strong, right? And now that she is out of the hospital, right? Now it's time for the party. It's time for the party. Grandmother Ernestine wants to party, living, fighting through COVID, getting through all of that, and it's time to party. It's time to party it up. She's going to get that grandmother Ernestine jukebox out of the back. They're going to go in the back and they're going to party. So she calls up Duffy, she calls up Big L, and you know, she told Big L to get the African dude that she kind of had a crush on to hook up the party. So they go to the house, right? They go to the house, grandmother Ernestine's home, and you know, when this is the funny part, when grandmother Ernestine came in into the house, she was like, it smelled like booty up in here. She said it smelled like pussy, and Uncle Cliff was like, that's just the COVID messing with your senses. Yeah, we know you and Lil Murder was all over the house doing y'all thing, so that's why it smelled like, you know, it smelled like some stuff up in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, right? So Big L comes, and yeah, Big L and Duffy and the African dude, they gonna arrange this whole big party for Grandma Ernestine. We gonna celebrate her living and making it through, right? Making it through, right? Yeah. So I mean, she's happy to see them. Uncle Cliff was like, I fired you, Big L. So, well, Ernestine hired me, so this is what we gonna do, right? This is what we gonna do. All right. So let's continue on. I want to talk about a lot of things. Let's talk briefly about almost to the end. I like talking about. I'm going to go directly to it. Okay, I'm gonna go directly to it. Let's go back and talk about Keyshawn and what happened. So when she went back to the house, CPS was there, talking about, yeah, we got a report, you know, from the doctors, right? And it shows that, you know, the child had bruises and everything else like that. And immediately that came to my mind. The immediate thing that came to my mind was Derek was the one that put in that report, right? Or that was immediately what came to my mind. But what actually happened was the night that she came back, right, and had an argument with Derek, he said that some neighbors called because they heard a ruckus at their house, which was Derek beating on Keyshawn, right? And they reported it to the Child Protective Services, CPS, and that's why they're there. I don't think so. I think Derek did this and blamed it on Keyshawn. And they were like, listen, yeah, we got a report that you are beating on your children and then this is happening. You took them to the doctor, but you didn't report it to CPS. And because she didn't report it to CPS, now it looks like she's the one abusing them, right? So being that Derek picked up the kids, it was like, this is his chance to make sure she stays here. And she's like, well, you know, for the next 6 months, you know, as far as visitation, as far as, you know, taking care of the kids. We're gonna have to monitor you for the next 6 months. And she's like, 6 months? I ain't trying to be here 6 months. I'm trying to get up out of here. You know what I mean? I'm trying to go. I'm not, listen, you have no idea what's going on. I'm trying to get up out of here with my kids from this abusive mother, right? And this dude's smiling while she's saying, listen, this is what's going to happen, and blah, 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 blah. And in her mind, I think the reason why she flipped out is because she had the whole plan in place. And this is just another stumbling block for her. And she's looking at Derek and she's seeing all this in her mind. I think it's just like she saw the evil in the room. She saw what was going on with this dude, Derek, once again trying to hold her back. Once again trying to keep her there so he can abuse her more, so he can control her more. I think she just saw finally this evil that was the presence that was in the room, and she just flipped. She just like snapped, you know? And that was the wrong time for her to snap, right in front of the cop, right in front of CPS. And then was beating on Derek, and Derek is like, he holding himself like he a little baby. Like, get up out of here, man. You the one touching on Keyshawn, right? Totally made me upset. Then when the cop came over to try to restrain her, she slapped him in the face. I was like, why, Keyshawn? Why did you do that? Because now you assaulted an officer, and now you got to get arrested. Why did you have to go and hit the officer? I mean, I understand you was enraged. I understand you wasn't thinking. I mean, dang. I mean, but at that point, what would you do? Type below, fam. What would you guys do if that happened to you? You had a whole plan to get away from this narcissistic, abusive person, man, woman. You know, if you was a woman in a man's position, you know, a woman in a man's position, man in a woman's position, what would you guys do? Like, would you flip out? And what would you do? What could you do at that point? And all she could do, I mean, he had to restrain her, put her in handcuffs. I mean, it was just pretty bad for Keyshawn. I felt really bad for Keyshawn because she was ready to go. She ready to go. There's a whole bunch of money in that trunk, in that car. Man, you know? Let's backtrack a little bit. She went and saw your boy Lil Murda before he was going on tour. Right? And she's like, don't tell him. He knew where she was going. Right? And again, she didn't follow Haley's rule of not telling anybody where she's going. He's like, yo, I hope you're safe out there in California. She's like, yo, don't tell nobody where I'm going. I'm like, why did you tell him where you're going? She broke the rules. So she wasn't even following the rules, man. But he's like, your secret's safe with me. And she's like, yeah, your secret's safe with me. It's like, hey, you gonna miss Uncle Clifford? It's like, what do you think? You already know, right? So I feel sorry for her. I feel sorry for Keyshawn about everything that she's going through, seriously. But let's flip the script, okay? Let's talk about Mercedes. Finally, Mercedes gets her just due, right? Mercedes gets this package in the mail, FedEx package. It's a big picture of her, right? So we know who that's from. That's from Farrah, right? And, you know, she gets not only this big picture of her, but she also gets a $30,000 check. Yes. In our last video, I said that, right? I said with all of this Mercedes experience, exhibit, and all this and that, she better be getting paid something, right? She better get paid something. If they sell a painting, if they sell something, if they sell a picture, like, is Farrah really going to break her off the way she should be broken off? And yes, Farrah did the right thing. And she's like, yo, you sent me a check for $30,000. She's like, yeah, it's only right. You know, you are the person, you know, I'm basically selling your likeness to the public like it's supposed to happen, right? And she's asking, hey, is this supposed to happen? Is this the process? She's like, no, but we're going to make our own rules. You know, like, not only, she's like, is this what Coach owed me? She's like, nah, this is what I owe you. And I thought that was great that Farrah recognize that she owes Mercedes a whole lot, because Mercedes in her own way gave her own bravery to walk away from Coach, gave her own bravery to go professional as far as being a photographer, right? To do this display, to do this, exhibit for Mercedes, right? To be the woman that she needed to be, to step up and step out and move forward without having to rely on Coach, but to rely upon herself and empower herself to be the woman, the strong businesswoman that she is. You know what I'm saying? So I was definitely happy about that Farrah, in all her ways, she did the right thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's doing the right thing. Even though she, still probably, I believe she still has feelings for Mercedes, but more so on that women's empowerment level, where she really boosted Farrah up to do things that she would have never done if she never came into her life. So that $30,000 is a residual check, yes, but that's only the beginning. And I believe that's what, hey, what's going on? Yeah, definitely hit that like button for me. I think that was like a pivotal point for Mercedes and for Farrah, full circle. So to get that 30,000 and to absolutely, then open up her place of business finally, not the school for the kids, but an actual place of business, and call it the Mercedes Experience. Going to teach people, how to get on the pole, how to do what they do, and use it probably as an exercising tool, right? There's plenty of shops out there like that. Definitely in Georgia, where I stayed for about 4 years. There's plenty of shops and places out there where ladies can learn how to get on the pole and use it for exercise purposes, and also use it to, do some stuff to their partner, whatever it is, right? So I thought it was great that it came full circle for Mercedes finally. Now, the next piece that came full circle for Mercedes, while she's performing, doing her thing, right, feeling herself, creating new dreams, right? Pastor Woodbine walks in. Now, Pastor Woodbine, she's so funny, right? Because she won being the mayor, she went in that mayor's office, she threw out Wayne Cow stuff, she sat in the chair, she fell back out in the chair, right? But now she's visiting all the businesses, just to let them know, hey, I'm the new mayor, whatever, all that political stuff. And she goes to Mercedes' spot. And she goes to Mercedes' spot, and she's like, oh, okay, I thought you was doing the school or whatever. She's like, yeah, nah, I did something else. This is the Mercedes Experience. I'm gonna teach old ladies like you how to jump on the pole, because you could have used some lessons, based on what I saw on TV of you on that pole when you was campaigning, right? Just taking shots. They're taking shots. And, when it came down to it, Woodbine was on some like, yeah, so look, I took your money and look at where you are today. Look at where both of us are today, right? Even though things was bad, like Woodbine, Pat Patrice is just terrible. Mercedes was trying to do some things, and then she stole the money and the whole nine. You remember that. But again, full circle. This episode was a full circle. So when she said that, Shell called, the hotline for prayer. Now Shell is gonna get, is gonna go into rehab, to get clean. I thought that was a great thing, but she gave full custody to Patrice Woodbine, Mayor Bishop Woodbine, whatever title that is, right? But she's like, listen, I already raised my own. It would be a lot for me to be the mayor and be a pastor and all this and that. So turn around, she has Terica there with her bags, and she's gonna give Terica to her mama. I thought that was a very, very beautiful moment. I actually cheered at that moment, because I was like, yes. I was very happy to see that go down, where now she has Terica back. She can finally be the mother that she wants to be, and now she has a legitimate business, so she can possibly get full custody. Hopefully, rehab. Shell's gonna be in rehab, but she's not gonna be in rehab for long. Okay, so absolutely, she doesn't have full custody of her yet. So I want Mercedes to go ahead and try to do her best to get full custody now that she's in a better position. She's earning some residual. That was her last dance after Pink, so she's not stripping anymore. She's in a way better position, and she's a business owner now, so it's now the best time for her to try to get full custody of Terica, right? What'd you say? Oh, Pat still owes her daughter money. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, she does. Absolutely. You still need to get that money back that she stole. But now that she's mayor, she's probably going to get it back in a different way. You know, probably, I think her giving up Terica is like a start, a major start in getting that money back and trying to get her life back. Because really, she's trying to use that money to get her life together, right? To really get out of the pain. So she can try to get Terica back. But now that she has Terica back in her life, now it's all about focusing on, okay, let's get the documentation done so I can get full custody of you, because Shell is not in the right position to do that. And if Patrice Woodbine allows it to happen, now that she's mayor and she gave Terica to Mercedes, she shouldn't have a problem helping her or releasing her so she can get full custody of her. You know what I'm saying? So I hope that happens in the next season. I hope it really just continue. I hope that Mercedes, good blessings and luck continues on throughout season 3. I hope so, but it's this is P Valley. It's always got to be some type of drama. Always got to be some type of setback, right? Okay. So let's talk about it. I want to talk about this whole Haley thing, okay? Because Haley is thinking, okay, well, now that Pastor Woodbine is in office, now that this referendum went through, now they need the Pink in order for the casino to happen, right? So that's what's on her mind. She just came from seeing Dre, gave her a box of cigars, like, congratulations on moving here with your wife, whatever. She's still not going to tell him that she was pregnant. I don't know if she's still pregnant or not. I don't know if she's going to have the twins or not, but she still did not tell Dre that she had his twins in her body, right? Appreciate that, fam. Appreciate that. So, she's just like, all right, I'm gonna see you around, Dre Esquire, whatever. And then she calls Georgie, and Georgie's in her Rolls Royce being driven around. She's like, yeah, where's my money, bitch? Right? Like, where's my offer, bitch? And she's like, oh, I knew you would call Miss Savage, And she's like, listen, I don't need the Pink no more. She's like, what you mean you don't need the Pink? You need the Pink, She's like, yeah, I wanted 10, now I want 15. She's like, nah, you should have took that $5 million when I offered it to you, because we don't need the Pink no more. She's like, well, when the city is able to grant somebody to have a canal go from the river to their area, then we don't need your Pink no more. We don't need that area anymore, right? And guess what happened? Did y'all see the paper? I was like, wow. Did y'all see the paper? It said Corbin Cow has a canal go right to his backyard, right? So much shade happening. So, again, it's going back to what Uncle Clifford said to Corbin Cow when they was in that cotton field. He said, the greatest lesson that I got from Grandmother Ernestine before she went inside the hospital is that if you can't go to the water, bring the water to you. Corbin Cow and Wayne Cow arranged, because remember, before Wayne Cow lost, he was the mayor, right? So they already got the paperwork in place to allow the city to approve this canal to go from the river, and the canal to go right behind Corbin's plantation. Man, I was like, wow, that's crazy. So Georgie's like, I don't need you no more. You should have took my money when you had it. Bye. See you later, bitch. Right? Be out. Haley's like, oh my God, I just lost all the money, right? Corbin, Kyle, and Wayne, they sitting on the porch cheering it up. Boom. Corbin's like, yeah, like, this dude crazy. He's like, I got you. So now the casino's gonna be on his property, because now the waterfront is on his property. He has a canal. So that's what he was working on. He was working on some stuff when Uncle Clifford went to see him. So man, this is crazy. Right? So Haley's out of money. Haley ain't getting no $5 million, right? Goes to see Uncle Clifford, throws the paper on Uncle Clifford as Uncle Clifford is going through some pictures or whatever, listening to some old records, whatever. And yeah, She's like, did you see the paper? Corbin Kyle got this canal. She's like, oh, that's crazy. That's some weird news. Like Cliff is like I know what's going on. You don't know what's going on. You think you can, sell my club. You don't know what's going on. So remember last episode, and I think I said this. Y'all can check me on it. When Corbin Kyle went to Uncle Clifford in the Paradise Room and was like, yo, how much did Haley pay for, to keep the pain? And Uncle Cliff was like $250. He's like, I'll pay you $250,000 to get whipped by you to get my fetish done, right? So, yes, Uncle Clifford got a check from Corbin for $250,000. How did he get all this money? Because Promised Land already offered him whatever amount it was, millions of dollars, in order to have the casino on his property. So he already had money, but he was already doing backdoor deals with Promised Land so he can get the money, right? So gave that check to Uncle Clifford. Uncle Clifford took the check, signed it over, and said, you know what? Boom. This is gonna make you happy. Take this $250. This is how much you paid to save my club. I'm gonna keep the club and I'm gonna buy you out. It's like, wow. So not only is she not getting $10 million and was gonna split it, but now she getting her $250 back, right? And that's it. That's it. She's like, Uncle Cliff was like, you can leave now. And you can see Haley's lip just drop like, she not getting $5 million. She only getting $250. She's like, well, I want more. You know what I'm saying? After everything that I did, I want more. I don't want just $250. Right? Being greedy as she is. We finding out that your girl Haley is real greedy. And she was like, if it wasn't for me and my money, this would have been done. And then Uncle Clifford made a point. He said, if it wasn't for me and Mercedes, you'd be dead right now. We saved your life. And we thought that you was a sister. We thought that you was really part of the family. We was trying to take you in. We're going to find out you a snake and that you not part of the family. And it's a shame that you alone. Like Uncle Clifford was breaking it down. It's a shame that you alone. You'll never have family. I'm like, dang, Uncle Clifford, you laying it on her like that? Yep. It's a shame that you greedy. It's a shame that you not, we could have been your family. She's like, I don't need family, right? And that's how, again, if you look at it, that's how Haley was moving around. And she said that to Dre. She said, this person taught me to always have a bag because I'm always ready to move around and go to and fro. So she's never really had family. And she's been running around all over the place most of her life, So she was like, listen, you can get up out of here. And she's like, I want more. And then you got Big L and Diamond in the back with their chainsaw and the jag or whatever you had. They had the outfits like they was ready to bury a body. So Big L is like, listen, I think burying a body is more than interest that you need. And Diamond's like, it's more than double. You know what I'm saying? So they was ready. They had the outfits on like, if this chick Haley don't leave, it's gonna be a wrap. Like they're gonna have to take her out and then bury her body. So Haley was like, let me get up out of here. And Uncle Cliff was like, listen, you can leave out the door or I can throw you out the window. You know what I'm saying? So they did it real gangster like, but it is what it is. But fast forward a little bit, your girl Haley won in the end. She won in the end because remember that $25,000 that was sitting in that account that was left from the $250, after the pandemic, they had $25,000. And that's my thing, like why didn't Uncle Clifford and Big L, because Big L handles the books, why didn't they think to take that or transfer that $25,000 out of that account, which is connected to Haley, into a different account? Because Haley, again, has access to that account, so she took out not only $25,000, she took out $42,000 and overdrafted the account. She overdrafted the account, so left them high and dry with an overdraft, and she took the money, the $250 and the $42,000. So she got out of there with almost $300,000. You know what I'm saying? So Haley real slick with it, man. I'm just like, dang, crazy. Definitely, fam, if you just joined me, hit me with that like button. Definitely hit that share. And if you're on Facebook, yeah, my Facebook squad, I see you. Thank you for joining as well. What else we gonna talk about? What did I miss? Type in the chat box below. What did I miss? Did I miss anything? Right? Usually Amy's here to let me know what I missed. But definitely type in the chat box below. What else did I miss? Or what else did I not go over? Because it was so much in this thing here. So much. Oh, what's up? What's up, lady? I see you on here. It ain't too late to jump in. You better come on to the stage if you need to. I mean, if you're here, let's go. Come on in. And you came in at the perfect time because I think I talked about most of everything, but I'm trying to figure out what I missed. I have some notes here. But we talked about the canal. We talked about, okay, let's go and talk about the whole love scene. Because this thing was all about love and coming out. Oh yes, thank you, Creator Sis. All right, so before we talk about the love thing, let's talk about roulette. Right, so roulette and the lady that handles, yeah, we're gonna talk about that, Daria. I'm gonna save that for the end. We're gonna talk about Big L and Big Bone and character, yeah, all of that, right? And I know that's your favorite. I saw that. So let's talk about roulette. Roulette has started to turn the Pank into a whorehouse. That's safe to say, right? Roulette has now started something, right? So it started off with herself, then it moved to Whisper, right? And they did what they did to that dude. And now, you know, the lady that handles all the outfits and the floss, that's what they call the outfits, floss. She like, you think I don't know what y'all doing? Y'all need to have me part of your stable, right? And she's like, yo, you Uncle Clifford's friend. Like, you serious? Like, he's like, yeah, you need to have me part of your stable because there's a lot of guys that would like to be with a person like me. Now, you know that I believe she's probably transgender, right? So, you know, she's like, yeah, you need somebody like me. So roulette has started something. The streets know what's going on. Some people in the club, and she's like, yeah, you know, you Uncle Clifford's friend. How I know you're not gonna rat on me? She's like, there's a lot of things I don't tell Uncle Clifford. So her own friend is hiding some secrets as well, right? Absolutely. So I believe next season, I think they're setting it up. Next season, okay, plus size girls. No, I think she is, like, I looked at her. I think she is also transgender and plus size. She's a plus size transgender. But roulette. This is the setup for roulette's P Valley whorehouse. You know what I'm saying, or whatever they want to call it. This is all a setup because roulette is not stopping. She's getting a lot of bread, as we see. She's doing a whole lot of white stuff, you know, little nose candy, right? And she's bringing her girls together, right? Because Keyshawn is gone. She locked up. Mercedes got her own thing going on now. And even Uncle Cliff is like, all of y'all leaving me, right? Gidget, she's been gone, right? All of the OGs is gone. I mean, Autumn Night, she out of here, right? So all of those folks, you know, all of those folks, those original folks, for the most part, are going to be gone. So are we changing it now? Is it going to be Whisper, Roulette? Who's going to be left? Type in the chat box below. Who's going to be left to be on there? Like, who we going to see at the paint, dancing at the paint, right? Is Keyshawn going to have to start all over if she gets out? If Diamond gets her out? Well, Diamond ain't going to get out. We're going to talk about why Diamond ain't going to get out right now. What is going to happen to P Valley? Because it's changing, right? Yeah, I see what you're saying. Roulette definitely is taking it. Yes, I agree with you, Amy, as you are on the outside looking in. Yes, she is changing the fantasy into a reality. And yeah, dudes is getting their stuff off and they paying for it. So this may turn into a brothel, right? P Valley brothel, P Valley, spot to go to for everything, So we'll dance on the stage for you, and then we'll take you to the VIP, and then we'll even take you after the VIP. We'll take you out of there for the after party. So that's where it's kind of going. Is Uncle Clifford going to want that? No. With everything going on, is Uncle Clifford going to succumb to Big L's whole product opioid game thing, right? It's well, I'm not gonna say it's mini Vegas, but I'm just gonna say because yeah, I'm gonna just say that it's going in that direction, right? We're gonna have the now casino here. We're gonna have yeah. You can say mini Vegas. You can say because the strip clubs out here. We got a whole bunch of dispensaries out here. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on, but this is going to happen in Chucalissa. So is that where we're going? Is that where P Valley is going? Is P Valley going there, right? All right, let's quickly talk about this last part. And I want to know your predictions. Again, I'm still celebrating Mercedes and Terica. And in a way, I'm kind of celebrating Pastor Woodbine getting in the position that she is, because I think this whole transition, this thing is kind of changing her a little bit. Like, she's still evil in her own little way, but she's more politically evil more so now because now she's mayor. But, let's talk about it. Diamond, Big Bone, the predictions, right? So the predictions were, yes, Creator says, I agree. Yes, there's a lot of loose ends. And yes, I agree with this statement as well. And I think that they do that on purpose to bring us now back for season 3. Pretty smart, right? I'm not going to give you everything in all the conclusions. I'm going to give you a little bit of this. I'm going to insert that. I'm going to insert this. And then I'm going to leave you hanging for another year until I come back and bring you season 3. Right? So Diamond got a phone call. This is where it started. Okay? They're all partying outside. Grandmother Ernestine, and I'm gonna talk about Uncle Clifford too, and what happened with Uncle Clifford and Little Murder too. But I want to talk about Diamond right now. So Diamond gets a phone call. Says unknown. It's from the correctional facility. He picks it up, and it's Keyshawn. And Keyshawn proceeds to tell him the story, in the fantasy story about, my hair wasn't long enough and the monster ate the key. So remember when you said that you would take care of the monster, can you take care of the monster now? And your boy, Diamond, they got this connection where he understands exactly what's going on, because they started that whole fantasy fairy tale story, right? And he gets it. He's like, okay, you need me to take care of Derek and take him out. Got you, right? That's what he lives for. We come to find out that, Diamond was in the army, and while being in the army or being in the military or whatever, he got pretty messed up mentally. Like, he got pretty messed up. So he goes to the car, and he got a whole bunch of stuff in his trunk. Like, this is what he does. Like, he not only does security, but this dude, he dang near is like type assassin type dude. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of picked that up last episode when he was up there with the whole vest and had the, the AR and everything. And he's just like, yo, we got everything secure. He was like in the army, like he was a sergeant or like he's a soldier. So he ready to take this out. He been ready to take out Derek. He just needed the green light. So he goes to the trunk, he's moving stuff around, and then who comes out? Some ninjas come out. I'm not using ninja to replace the N-word. Some type of ninjas come out of nowhere, and they start fighting your boy Diamond in the parking lot. And it's like, wow, you know what I'm saying? It's like, who is this? Like, what is going on, right? Right, special ops. Yeah, exactly. Created some special ops, right? So I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, how did this turn from like, you know, P Valley to like some G.I. Joes, some Rambos, some, you know what I'm saying? Like they doing karate and you know what I'm saying? And he getting beat down. And then another dude comes out, beats him up, and then throws him in the trunk, right? Ties him up, puts stuff in his mouth, throws him in the trunk, right? And then this girl comes out, pulls off her mask. It's mother freaking Big Bone. Big Bone was doing all that karate stuff. I was like, that's why she can't dance, because she know karate. She got skills and special, you know, tactics and stuff like that. She ain't a dancer. She was sent in there. Amy and everybody that predicted that was correct. She was a spy, because the guy that had the strap on Diamond had the ring, the same ring that Montavious had. Same ring. So like I said in the last video that we did, yeah, and even Montavious said that, yeah, the double D's or something like that, he's down with this brotherhood or this, you know, this whole clique or whatever they are. And yeah, they wouldn't like what happened as far as you taking the money. So he already spoke it. And he said, if I disappear, something going to happen to y'all because they're going to come for me. He did say that if you go to the first season, go back. He said that they're going to come for him. Yeah, he said that. He spoke it to it. He already told us. It was just so long ago in the first season that we don't remember. He said that to Haley. Something happened to me, they're going to come. So, Big Bone went in there. She was a spy, special ops of whatever that crew is with the rings, the same rings. And yeah, she was doing all that karate and chopping them up. Like, I'm like, wow. So, dude was going to shoot him. He's like, nah, it's too easy. It's too easy. And I'm glad they didn't shoot him, because in reality, he didn't kill Montavious. In reality, but they don't know that. They just know based on what Big Bone sent, that picture of her holding the ring and being sent there to find out what happened to Montavious. You know, you put two and two together, he had to have killed Montavious, right? But he didn't do that. He just buried the body, right? We know who killed Montavious. So it's gonna unravel in season 3 as to how and who they're gonna find. Are they gonna find out that Mercedes was the one that pulled the trigger? Is Diamond going to snitch? I don't think he is. I think something's going to happen. Is he going to be saved? I don't know. You guys drop your predictions below, all right, as to what's going to happen to Diamond. We don't want Diamond to be hurt. We don't want Diamond to die. We don't want none of that stuff. But, you know, remember, Diamond is one of those doctors. I mean, he may get out of his restraints and just do some stuff and just start snapping his fingers, and people just start, you know, doing all. You never know what's going to happen. He may get out himself. He may not need to be saved. You know what I'm saying? You never know. But drop your comments below as to what you think is going to happen to Diamond, right? Okay. Now, let's talk about the love story, okay? Because that's what it is coming down to, right? This is what we've been talking about for a long time. We've been talking about your boy Little Murder turned Big Murder, right? About him finding himself, about him coming out to be who he is, and him accepting himself for who he is, the same way that Uncle Clifford accepts herself for who she is, right? So while Uncle Clifford's trying to push him away, and they're in the club talking while there's a party going on in the back, you know, there's a moment that we absolutely capture where we find out exactly how I would say Little Murder and Uncle Clifford, well, really how Little Murder feels about Uncle Clifford. Because Uncle Clifford's like, listen, I'm 40 years old, you half my age, what do you know about love? And then Little Murder really breaks down and talks about how him and Big Teak connected, and how it started in jail, and how, you know, Little Murder convinced the CEO to set it up where they get together in the closets, and, you know, they do what they do in the closet, right? And after the 4th, 5th, 6th time, you know, it's just like they like love each other, but they couldn't love each other out in the open, right? Yeah. And absolutely. So what happened is that he explained how this was arranged. He explained how, Big T took his life. And Uncle Clifford picked that up and said, "Is that what happened that night?" And he was like, and he started crying. Lil Murray was crying about the whole thing because that was his boy. Like, he got his lyrics tattooed on. Big T had his lyrics. He said Big T had his lyrics tattooed on his body. That was his boy. That was like his lover. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, "Yeah, that's what happened." You know what I'm saying? That's what happened. That he took his own life, and he really didn't want to lose Uncle Clifford because Uncle Clifford knows who he is, and he really loves Uncle Clifford. Period. And as you say, Amy, right there, you make a good point. Yep, he lost one, didn't want to lose another one. So that's why he got really upset and passionate about it all, because he lost T, and he didn't want Uncle Clifford to keep pushing him away. He's like, "How you gonna just stop with all this love and protection and everything, and me cooking for you and grandma and all this and that? Like, I'm trying to show you the way that I love, and you keep pushing me away. Yeah, I know you don't want to, and I can, like I said, I can understand why Uncle Clifford didn't want to keep him there, didn't want him to stay there with him, because he's like, listen, I sell fantasy. This is what I do. I sell the fantasy, but everything outside of this needs to be as real as possible. And he's been saying, Uncle Clifford's been saying that for all the whole season. Like, if you're gonna do this for real. Don't play me. Don't try to keep it under wraps. Like, if you're gonna do it for real. But Uncle Clifford didn't want him to do that because he had a bright future with opening up for Tina Snow and then going on. But it looks like Little Murder didn't really want that. He's choosing love over fame and glory and money, really. Because he's going to lose a lot of money. Going to lose a heck of a lot of money by not going on tour. Who knows what's going to happen now, right? So, Big L tells Uncle Clifford about the whole, overdraft, whatever. And they go out and party. And, they play that song, what's the name? What we have is much more than they can see. Who sings that song? Drop it below. That's one of my joints, right? So they dancing, and your boy Little Murder puts his hands around Uncle Clifford's waist, and they turn around, and I think Uncle Clifford took one of those little pills, so that's why Uncle Clifford's like, like that, and Little Murder's like, "Yo, you're not dreaming." And while everybody's there, Little Murder, Big Murder, kisses Uncle Clifford right in front of everybody, and everybody stops. Thank you, Jeffrey. Hey, Funky G83. Thank you. That's my song right there. Love Blind. Yes. Jeffrey Osborne. Absolutely. LTD. Right. It was LTD. Yeah. I guess they all down. Yeah. So, man, I was like, wow. Like, LTD. Jeffrey Osborne. There you go. Facebook user. I see Facebook popped up. I see. Thank you. Doesn't say your name because I'm in the studio, but thank you, LTD. Right. So, man, that was a moment, right? Because all this time, they undercover, they in the closet. Yeah, Love Battle, LTD, man. I want to play it right now, but I can't because then it'd be copyright claims, right? That's the joint right there. But it's a fitting song. What we have is much more than they can see, right? They've been in the closet all this time. They've been on the low all this time. So, Uncle Cliff is living out loud, and now with everybody there, and Mercedes noticed too, and then they had a conversation about it. But with everybody there, your boy Lil Murder went ahead and showed that he really loved Uncle Clifford. And everybody stopped. And even Grandma Ernestine could see what was going on, right? And she could barely see. Right? She sees blurry, but she knows what's going on. You know what I'm saying? She can see what's going on. And Beulah, the spirit of Beulah, was there as well, right? And also what we found out about Beulah's death is that Beulah also was in love, and she was trying to convince Uncle Clifford not to push Little Murder away. But Uncle Clifford was like, listen, you was in love too. You did things for the sake of love, and you died and you had sores on you. So I believe that Beulah died from AIDS, right? That was the 80s, 90s, right? I believe that, you know, with sores and everything and pneumonia, yeah, probably died from AIDS, right? So the spirit of Beulah was there looking, people were smiling. Big L was like, there was different smiles, different reactions to what was going on. But Uncle Cliff is like, what y'all looking at? You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, you know? So, virus, right? Virus, yeah. So, you know, man, like, yeah. Yeah, this was a hell of an episode. Like I said, I give it an 8.5. Amy, I didn't see your rating. Everybody, if you didn't rate the show, please go ahead and rate the show. We'll go back to that. If you just came on and we're watching, please go ahead and rate the show. I want to see your rating. Definitely tell me why. Again, my rating was an 8.5, and I thought it was a good show. I thought it was solid. Yeah, there's a whole lot of loose ends, as you said. Funky G83 or Creatus said, right? I believe that. Yeah, I gave it an 8.5. I give it an 8.5, and let's see what you guys are talking about. Yeah, Amy. Yep. Sad. Yep. Sad. Definitely. Amy said, yeah, it was a virus. Yep, True Diamond. What's going on, True Diamonds W? Salute to you. Thank you for joining us. Yep, HIV, right? HIV and CFC comes together against Delta. Yeah. Okay. You're talking about the crews coming together. Okay, to go. Got you, going against each other. Yeah. So they're building up to that. Got you, building up to that. So Amy, you give it an 8. Okay. Creative Sif, you give it a 9. Funky G83, you give it an 8 to 10. In between 8 and 10. Okay. Definitely, yeah, definitely it was a solid episode, as I say, 8.5, and yeah, this kind of wrapped up some things, but then introduced new things, and now we're continuing on with other things, right? So we're continuing on with this back and forth with Keyshawn. We praying that Keyshawn gets out. I hope she gets another call, and she just finally calls Mercedes or Uncle Clifford. She calling everybody else. Like, when are you just going, like, come on. Like, call your sisters. Like, call your sisters. Stop calling everybody else. Call Uncle Clifford. Call Mercedes. They, like, let them come to your rescue, okay? Man. So, Lil Murda came out in the bubble. I want to say the bubble of the P Valley Squad. But what's going to happen when he comes out to the world? You know what I'm saying? And Little Murda, let's be clear. Let's be clear. I think these past 2-3 episodes have shown us that Little Murda is going to do what he wants to do, and he's going to make sure that he protects himself and protects the people that he loves. So that's also what he says that stood out to me. He's like, yo, how you going to push away this love and this protection? He wants to protect Uncle Clifford and anybody else that he loves. So regardless of what he claims he is or what he reveals to the world, he knows he's going to be protected. He's going to protect himself and have protection of anybody that's going to try to come against him. Because everybody in the hood knows that he is, you know, that he is a homosexual. Like, he's homosexual, bottom line. He's not like, what I say, fluid or he likes men. Fairy godmother, right, exactly. Why you not calling the fairy godmother? Exactly, Creator says, like, call your fairy godmother. Let's go. Like, seriously, you calling the dude that's going to take out your children's father, but you need to call Uncle Clifford, and then Uncle Clifford going to rally everybody up, do what you need to do, and get her out, and then kind of make moves to get out of there. All right. So, family, man, it's been an hour, 14 minutes. I appreciate you all joining me in YouTube and on Facebook, fam, and on Facebook. We got a whole lot of folks that came to the Facebook group. Appreciate you guys. Again, if you're watching, make sure you hit me with that subscribe button. Appreciate you guys. And definitely go ahead and hit that like button. And definitely share. This definitely was a great discussion today. Amy, we missed you. I know you're in Hawaii, moving around, but enjoy Hawaii. And thank you, everybody, for coming through. I definitely want to shout out Creator Sis for coming through. Funky G83 for coming through. What's up, True Diamond W for coming through. Thank you. Daria, thank you. Facebook user that let me know was LTD. I'll look in the Facebook group and give you a shout out there. Of course, Daria, and who else came through? our family and friends, our VACAY-JTV friends definitely came through. So shout out to everybody that came through. Thank you guys for always supporting. This is the end of season 2 of P-Valley. Just know that I'm now covering Power Book 3, Raising Canaan, and we're gonna go live in a couple of hours. Yeah, in a couple of hours. We're gonna go live in a couple of hours, and we're gonna recap episode 1 live, right? We're gonna recap episode 1 of season 2 of Power Book 3, Raising Canaan. So if you're into Power Book 3, Raising Canaan, Power, and everything else like that, definitely check me out. I'll also have an exclusive group for that as well. So let me know if you want to be part of that group on Facebook, VACAY-JTV and Friends Facebook group for Power Book 3. We have that as well. So family, I appreciate you always. Thank you so much for always being supportive, hanging out with me. All right. And we're going to keep this thing going, fam. All right, fam. So thank you very much. I'll see you guys soon. Let me see. Comments. Let me see before we get out of here. Okay, what do you say? Creator says murder can flip the narrative and still, as though Uncle Clifford gave him his start. That's true too. That's true. That is very true. Thank you. That's very true. We're gonna talk about that as well. Thank you as well. Thank you, Daria. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody for jumping on. Thank you, fam. Let's keep this thing going. Your boy is here. We're gonna keep this thing going and watch this entertainment, get into it. All right. Thank you, family. Love you all. Until next time. Salute.